Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. What the mainstream media was too afraid to tell you about the news this week. This week, while the mainstream media obsessed over President Trump's Twitter feud with Senator Bob Corker and Senator Jeff Flake, this is what really happened. Senator Jeff Flake isn't standing up for his principles even if it costs him his seat. He resigned first, and then he hacked Trump. He resigned because he knows he won't win re-election. And he wouldn't win re-election because he betrayed his voters. Flake was a conservative when he served in the House of Representatives, but he hasn't been a conservative in the Senate. He's been a moderate. He voted against defunding Obamacare. He voted for amnesty. He's pretending to go down in a blaze of glory by opposing Trump, but it has nothing to do with Trump one way or the other. But the mainstream media refused to cover this part of the story because it destroys their narrative that Trump is terrible. Actually, Trump had nothing to do with this. The Islamic State terror group was defeated in Raqqa, the capital of their so-called caliphate. This is a big deal. If Obama were president, he would have announced the victory with a knife between his teeth, as if he single-handedly destroyed all the terrorists himself. The mainstream media, of course, would have fawned over him. But because Trump is president, the mainstream media didn't even care about our victory over ISIS. Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, the one who publicized the private phone call between President Trump and Gold Star widow Maisha Johnson after Mrs. Johnson's husband was killed in Niger, Congresswoman Wilson admitted she likes being a media rock star after all the attention she received after she exploited the Gold Star family for political gain. She actually laughed. She said she liked the attention. How disgusting is that? Of course, you won't hear that from the mainstream media because the mainstream media sticks to the liberal narrative, and the liberal narrative is Congresswoman Wilson is a principled, compassionate member of the resistance standing up to the horrible Donald Trump instead of the pathetic opportunist she really is. Last but not least, guess how long it took the mainstream networks to cover the Uranium One scandal after the story broke? Even though the left has been clamoring for Russia corruption stories for the past year and a half. Well, now we have one. Russian government officials broke the law. They infiltrated U.S. nuclear entities. The FBI and the DOJ knew about it, which means President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton should have known about it. They refused to tell Congress so they could sell 20% of U.S. uranium supply to a Russian nuclear company. 5 days. 5 days it took the mainstream media to even give 69 seconds to that story. The same media, by the way, who hacked Trump for taking 1 day to disavow KKK member David Duke after Trump was asked about him in an interview and didn't remember his name. Funny how the mainstream media didn't seem to notice the irony. The mainstream media doesn't care to report any of that to you, so we will. And that's my final point tonight. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. If you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. In the meantime, catch us here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. And until then, have a good night.